You have no idea how close that was. You have no idea how lucky I am right now to be sitting in my bedroom with my family and not in the Meade County Jail. Because, well, let's wait for some people to get in here. Hey, what's up, Sentry? Yeah, I thought I was going to be in jail, and I didn't think I was going to have any way of letting y'all know. Because they had court today. And I was going to jail. Because the prosecutors have jumped to conclusions and they're what they shouldn't be doing. They jumped to do this. And they're making a horrible mistake. And they're asking for an increase in my bond. We all knew that because of my last hearing. But today was court, and things were not looking good at all. Not at all. Things were not looking good for me because it was the Meade County judge who's heard very little about this case, and it was a stack of absolute bullshit charges that have been pushed on me by way of, hang on, I'll get them. If there's one thing that Meade County has proven, it's that they'll just stick anything on a piece of paper and say it's a crime. Anything. They'll just stick anything on a piece of paper and say it's a crime. But to me, I don't know if they do this to a lot of people. But by way of a criminal complaint summons, meaning a person walked into the prosecutor's office and said, I would like to press charges on somebody. That somebody is Chris Ryder. And then they're supposed to write the facts as to what happened. And if those facts line up with the crime, then that's when the prosecutor is supposed to identify the crime in the statement. The prosecutor is supposed to identify the crime, if there even is one. And in this case, there's not. But the affiant, the person who wanted charges on me, started it out by saying Chris Ryder committed harassment, harassing communications, stalking to the second degree, terroristic threatening, and intimidating. And then goes on to tell a story that's not even true. And even in the not true story, this person did not identify a singular real crime. I will tell you this. What this person did do is put themselves on record saying that they want to press 5 serious criminal charges on an individual for reporting them. For reporting them to the Attorney General's office. Put a one in chat if it is perfectly lawful to report someone to the Attorney General's office as long as you're telling the truth. Last I checked, you're supposed to report crime. Just because this person is an official does not mean I'm not supposed to report them. When I did identify a crime, I identified violations by the person that filled this out. And they're saying because I reported it, that I'm catching these 5 charges for it. And you know who passed it? You know who passed this bullshit? A prosecutor that was supposed to have been recused this whole time. And then it was stamped by a clerk who is a conflict of interest and ran through the system as if it were valid. And then I got prosecutors from another jurisdiction who just saw that it existed and said, we're going to raise his bond and throw him in jail, Your Honor. That's what we want. And that's the best he could say on his motion. He didn't have a good reason. And that's after he finally filed a motion. He didn't even file a motion. He was trying to get my bond increased. This is some dirty, dirty shit. My lawyer calls it a travesty of justice to the likes in which he has not seen before. And this is a man who is well known for being very much established in Kentucky law. He said he has never seen anything this bad as far as them just making shit up and slapping it on me. It's ridiculous, and it's going to stop. And I thought for sure that today, when I got put in front of a Meade County judge, that I was going to jail based on that prosecutor's motion. I said my goodbyes to my family. I got all my affairs in order, lined Tiffany up to be able to pay the bills that I'm responsible for. Had all that set aside. I gave her access to my bank account through my bank. I gave her access to my business records. I said my goodbyes to my close friends. And then when I went to do a live stream to let you all know, I even had my white socks. And when I went to do my live stream yesterday to let you all know, my friends, my fucking internet was out. And court was very first thing this morning. Would you all like to know how court went? Put a one in chat if you want to know how court went. Obviously, I'm not in jail, so that gives you a little bit of an idea how court went. But you probably want to know the details to some degree. I have never felt so terrorized in my life. And I have been through a lot of shit. But when you got a group of people who have shown their disgust and hatred for you and sicked the white supremacist groups up your ass and haters to the degree that I have for the past 3 years, you don't feel like it's going to be a fair process when you walk in the doors of that courthouse, trust me. So I am not in any way saying that I should be in jail because I did anything wrong, because I've done nothing wrong. What I'm telling you is I expected that they were going to put me in jail, whether it was lawful or not. And for this bullshit, nowhere near lawful. These are not, these crimes did not happen in this statement. It is not terroristic threatening to report someone for negligence. It is not stalking to report someone who committed negligence. Mark that down. It is not intimidation to report someone for negligence. And they lied and still couldn't lie their way through a crime. There are no crimes listed in this because a crime didn't occur, and even lying through their fucking teeth, they still didn't make a crime. They just said the words, I feel harassed. I feel like he's stalking me. I felt like he was intimidating me and putting me in danger. That's what I feel like. That's what it says. So I feel like that because he reported me for negligence. That's why I feel like that. That's what these motherfuckers are putting crimes on me for. Why is the prosecutor of Meade County passing this shit? Because there are real crimes being committed in my case against me and Tiffany, in which you can't even get charges put on somebody. But when it comes to me, they'll make shit up, put it on paper, and it still ain't a crime, and they'll still charge me. 5 charges from this bullshit right here. And a request by the prosecutors, who are the outside prosecutors over my case, to put me back in jail, to await to the trial. That's what this prosecutor wants. This is a prosecutor that I have proven and shown to him that it was us being harassed, that the roles are reversed. He's aware, and he keeps saying, I don't want to violate Mr. Ryder's First Amendment right, but I don't want him to speak about anything on YouTube. I want his YouTube channel to go away. Well, it did. This is just my personal one. The fucking YouTube channel they're crying about has been gone. But they're crying about this one. I have not done shit on this channel. And they're still fucking crying. Kentucky is full of the weakest public officials I've ever seen in my life. It is pathetic. Fucking pathetic. They do not care for the First Amendment. They do not care for publications. They do not care for media. They do not care for free speech. They are absolutely against it. They want to press false charges on people that exercise it. And I'm not talking about putting pressure on. I'm talking about just an individual who is sharing what he's going through in a legal case with you. It's a public case. Fucking the jailer has 4 YouTube channels that talk about it every single video. That's all they talk about. It's my case, not theirs. Why does the jailer get to have 4 YouTube channels to go into detail about my cases and publish every single fucking inch of it? But it's illegal when I do it, Mr. Prosecutor is saying. It's illegal for me to do it. He wants me to shut the fuck up and take my YouTube channel down. He says, but I don't want to violate Mr. Ryder's rights. However, it would be awful nice if he would shut the fuck up and just let the jailer do it all and continue the harassment and the stalking of children. I thought I was going to be in jail today. I brought my white socks. I got my honey bun fund prepared. I'm not kidding. And I couldn't even talk to you all because my internet went down. And I had to go to sleep. You all were not going to know. You all were not even going to know. Only a handful of people knew from where I had the opportunity to call them. And let them know. That being said, I'm going to tell you what happened. So I got up. I had everything prepared. I had all my affairs in order. I did a very hard goodbye with my stepson and with Tiffany. Sent him off to school. Started the drive to the courthouse, knowing I wasn't coming back until trial, which could have been a year. Or at least the best hope that I had was a bond that was going to be absolutely ridiculous, because I was looking at facing the Meade County judges. Not the judge that's been assigned after the recusal, but the Meade County judges. I'm not saying that's a bad judge. I'm saying I didn't trust him because I don't trust any public officials in Meade after what they've allowed the jailer and the sheriff and the chief deputy to get away with for the past 3 years. Well, put a one in chat if you believe I should not trust them. None of them. So I had nothing. I had no hope or any expectation they would do anything other than just throw me in jail. That was exactly what I expected. It was fucking terror to know that I was going to have to go forfeit my freedom over this bullshit. There's not even a crime established in it. And the fucking prosecutor that's jumping the gun out of hatred for the First Amendment and a clear lack of just ignorance to the law. Fuck. So, yeah, I expected that they were going to throw me in the jail. Maybe even under it. So I had a hard goodbye. And then we started heading towards the courthouse early. I wanted to be early. And we knew that there were going to be a lot of people there to say disgusting things and do disgusting things and play batter, batter, batter for the government there. We knew. We left early. And as we were en route, the weather was bad. The weather was even worse in Kentucky, and I didn't know that until I started getting some phone calls as we were heading that way. And one of the calls I got was, the court is on a delay. You don't have to be there this early. So we waited to see how long the delay was going to be. We were told 2 hours. And then my lawyer said, I'll call you back. So about 10 minutes later, I got a call back from my lawyer. And he said, good news. The judge recused. As a matter of fact, all of the Meade County judges recused. So we do not have to deal with Meade County judges in this case at all anymore. Now, don't get too excited because, and although, put a W in chat, that's a big fucking win because at least we can be a little more secure in that there are other officials from other areas that we could possibly depend on, at least more than what we trust anybody from Meade County. All right? So, and I've had no problems with the Hardin County judge so far. Matter of fact, she made a statement that let me know that she found it ridiculous that the Meade County public officials keep threatening jail on me. Because when the clerk told the judge she wanted me put in jail for bond fees that we actually already paid, and then said, well, he can't come to our office to pay it. The judge said, I'm not putting him in jail for that. That's what they're supposed to say. Now, I'm not saying the Meade County judge would not have done that. I don't know. But what I do know is, from what I have seen out of Meade County, I don't trust none of them. So I'm very, very, very happy that they made the right choice and recused. That is a huge win. But it's just a step. It's just a step. And there's more that I'm not going to share with you yet. Matter of fact, I really don't like talking about this case. But since the jailer has 3 or 4 YouTube channels that only talk about this case, I'm at least going to keep the lies at bay. I'm at least going to do that. We'll let you know that's a lie, this is a lie, this is bullshit, here's the truth. I'm at least going to do that. We'll keep you updated to a degree. I'm not going to tell you my strategies. I'm not going to tell you where we're going from here. I'm just going to tell you when we got it under control and what's going on, and when we don't have it under control. Like I'm doing right now, I'm telling you what happened. Yesterday, we did not fully have it under control. It was a very high-risk situation. Now, would we have been in the legal right? Of course. We would have been in the legal right. But do we trust the Meade County government to do what's legally right? Hell no. Hell no. Why should I? The prosecutor acted like this was 5 fucking crimes when there's not one crime stated. So no. The prosecutor's already recused, but she keeps passing crimes on me, doesn't she? And she extradited me. And the clerk should have recused a long time ago because she's a witness and a witness, and she claims to be a victim in mine and Tiffany's case. You can't be the clerk. It's against the oath of office. It's a conflict of interest. This is why. Because you put your stamp on bullshit like this when you're the clerk. Because you don't like them people. And you love to see more crimes pressed on them, even though they didn't break a law. You would love to see the prosecutors put them in jail for a year before they even get their real hearing, if you're a conflict of interest. So, and since that's an elected official, it is their duty. They are responsible to do it themselves. They don't have anybody above them to say, do it. They swore to do it when they took the position. So these people who are conflicts of interest, who are continuing to illegally interfere with this case, is a problem that we're going to have to solve. By that, I mean my lawyer is going to solve that problem. Now, I get that call, and I realize, good, now we might have some fair hearings. And it's better than that. This may be a pivot point for me to have a fair hearing through all of the charges. And I will inform you more as this plays out. Now, did you all know that my federal lawsuit is filed and began? The process is going on the Hardin County case for the marijuana charge from 1998. Put a one in chat if you knew that we filed, I filed a federal lawsuit on that one. I'm taking the go of it, y'all. Put a one in chat if you'll do that. Yeah. So that's in progress. That's what we should be talking about. That's what we should be talking about on this channel. Do you agree? We should be talking about that. We should be going back over some of the stuff that happened in that case. Like, for example, the fact that people on YouTube were given false documentation. It's in my claim. You can go read it. Ryder versus Mabe, M-A-B-E. People on YouTube were intentionally given false documentation to publish, to put lies out and misinformation while that case against me, while the criminal case was open against me, because they wanted court of public opinion on their side, since I was a YouTuber with people that knew me. And it created a high profile case with a lot of public interest that they didn't want you seeing. So what did they do? They pumped out some bullshit to YouTubers like dummy fucking ignorant ass Kruger, who's named in my lawsuit. And they let him publish bullshit that wasn't even true. Records that were absolutely not true. Not real. It was busted in court. In court. We proved it. In court. I'll bet you the dude that owns that stupid ass YouTube channel doesn't even know it. He's probably that fucking dumb to it. That's why I didn't press anything on him, whoever owns it. We'll find out his name through this process. I'll probably keep his anonymity for him, although he doesn't deserve it. But that little shenanigan bullshit that people are playing on YouTube trying to destroy people's lives, stay the fuck out of people's lives, y'all. Quit playing. Let the justice system function like it's fucking supposed to. This will be a lesson to you, dummy fucking Kruger. You idiot. That's why your name is coming in this lawsuit, dude. Because you fell for it. You were tricked. Read the claim. And see how well it's going so far in federal court. especially considering that my suit is against a prosecutor. And you know how rare it is for people to be able to keep those federal claims alive against a prosecutor? Still alive. Passed muster. So here we go. Let's do it. That's what we should be talking about. And you know what else we should be talking about? The fact that the nurse from the Meade County Jail filed a small claims lawsuit on me for free speech in my jurisdiction, in which I responded by saying, come on, bring it harder, because we're going to federal court over this one. I want a jury. I want to move the court, and that's where I'm at with that one. Let's do evidentiary. Let's talk about a government employee going after a person for absolutely free speech. Absolutely, it's my right to publish public information on whatever fucking platform I want to. And these people from Kentucky that are trying to stop the First Amendment need to quit because they're losing. They're losing. I have an attorney for the Indiana case. The filing is already made, and when we go to court, which the attorney was going to go to court for me if I were in jail and continue the process of suing their fucking pants off. They did nothing about the complaint to the DUI guy. Well, that's in my civil suit. DUI guy, we didn't forget him. He was not supposed to be doing ex parte communications with the prosecutor. Poor DUI guy. You let your little bullshit YouTube clout get you wrapped up, buddy. You should probably read it. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've read it, Larry. You knew you fucked up when you fucked up. At least Larry's smart. Whoever owns that stupid ass YouTube channel, Dummy Kruger, ain't very smart though. He's been awful quiet lately since my hearing, where I proved in court that they were putting out fraudulent documents to try to convince the public that I'm this guilty guy. The case was dismissed, and then I filed a lawsuit. The prosecutor's response on it, he tried to say, well, Mr. Ryder, he doesn't get to have his case heard again in another court. He doesn't get to have his case heard again in federal court. We already had his case in state court. That was his reply. Well, guess what? I don't want my case heard again. I didn't request to get my case heard again. It ain't got nothing to do with the state's case. I want it. It was dismissed. I'm suing for malicious prosecution because that's what he did. And Larry Foreman helped him. And some ignorant ass YouTuber who just wants to be popular on YouTube helped him too. You know that's criminal. Good thing I'm not law enforcement looking into it. I just filed a civil suit. So I hope that you guys don't mind following along throughout that suit. I will be keeping you very much updated, and I'm going to be putting out some of it's going to be different versions of it, but I'm going to be putting out some of the videos that we had done and interactions that we had during that time. Plus, we'll probably replay all the court hearings so that everyone's up to speed on that case, because we're going to have a lot more people subscribing to this channel. And if you're watching and you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, please. You're going to want to follow what we got going on. And it's a lot. It's stressful. It's too much for us. I mean, we're handling it, but it's too much for us. And put a one in chat if you all were at Tiffany's channel, Official Misconduct, last week, when we went and demanded to have a meeting with the sheriff and the prosecutor. Put a one in chat if you knew about that, or if you were there for it. See how many of y'all knew about that. And that was in my county where I live. Well, we got our meeting. We had it yesterday. I can't tell you how it went because there will be movement following that meeting. It might take a little while, but it's being done. It's already in the process now. Finally. It took some letting some water go under the bridge and starting new communications and having adult professional conversations and discussions directly with one another in one room. That's what we needed. And it worked. Put a one in chat if you all would like to see what the documentation, what the records look like for the crimes that have been committed against Tiffany and I since the jailer from Meade County went to YouTube. Put a one in chat if you want to see that. I got to go get it. Bear with me. Hey, Tiff. I need the big report binder. This new one here, the 5-star. No, that ain't it. Where is it? Look up. Huh? Look up.
Yeah, look up.
Oh, on top of his chest. Thank you. So, I knew about 20 some incidents that were reported to the sheriff's department where Tiffany and I were the victims. I knew about that. But I found out that there have been 84 reports made since the jailer has taken to YouTube, in which people have called the sheriff's department and given them information saying these people are victims of crimes that are occurring right now. 84! And not one charge has been made. Put them on in chat if y'all understand why we were so fucking upset about it when we were at the prosecutor's office. 84! You want to know how many reports were made where Tiffany and I were named or our address was put in before the jailer took to YouTube? 0. Not one time did anybody call the cops for anything happening to me or Tiffany before the jailer came to YouTube to incite all the harassment and violence against us. Not one report had to be made to the police department. These people saying, well, you just called the cops on everything. We didn't call the cops about anything. And then we ended up having to call the cops. We called the cops, I think it was like 30 times. But there's been 84 reports made to that department because of us being victims or the kids. That says something. That says something needs to be done. So that's what the meeting was about. And they gave me these. Huge shout out to the sheriff for getting this done on the spot like that. We'll give you that, Nick. Huge shout out, buddy, for walking out of that room and saying, this is going to be next to impossible, but I need this done by 4 o'clock for this man. He got this done by 4 o'clock for me. His whole staff work on it. The whole staff.
I was going to say, don't forget to give a shout out to the staff because they killed
Yeah. The huge shout out to the sheriff's department staff and Nick. And this is something that usually takes a long time. This is a request that would take a long time to fulfill. I had no idea there were 84 reports. I was expecting 30. or mid-20s. So let's do a W in chat for Nick Smith, Sheriff Nick Smith, and staff. We'll give him that. And for having the meeting. And putting the bygones aside and not falling to the urge to yell and argue. Because we all wanted to. So W for Nick and staff. These are the ones that had the Scooby-Doo. Y'all remember on my old channel when I had the Scooby-Doo video? I still want to do a Scooby-Doo mystery show with that dog. I love that dog, man. It's a big Great Dane that looks exactly like Scooby-Doo. He's their the sheriff's mascot dog. He sleeps in there and everything. He's an awesome dog. But anyway, I haven't always seen eye to eye with the sheriff here. I think we've mostly gotten along, but we've bumped heads on some things, and we hashed that out. We put it all aside, and we made sure that this was taken care of. And the man stopped his crew and said, "We got to get this done. This man has court in the morning. He needs these records. Let's get it done." And he got it done. He got this done. This binder was done by the sheriff's department employees in like 2 hours. They all worked together and they got it done. So that's amazing. Yeah. She said it was less than 2 hours. So that was amazing. And they really did. They all fucking helped. Everybody in there. And they stayed late. It was a shitload of work. You're right, Lenny. So I'm not kissing ass. But what I am saying is, you deserve the props for that one, Nick. And he don't watch my YouTube channel, but he gets sent links with timestamps whenever I mention them. He admitted to it in the meeting. He said YouTube is so full of negativity. He ain't wrong. YouTube is full of negativity. Why? Because you got jackasses from Kentucky like Todd and the jailer and shit. You know? And idiots that want to ride on the coattails of somebody else's life. So don't disagree with them. There's a lot of dumb shit on YouTube, dumb people who like to create negativity for attention, I guess. I don't fucking know. And then I'm not going to leave Otto out. So to the prosecutor, same. Shout out to you for he's got, prosecutors of the counties have ridiculously busy schedules. I'm aware of that. There have been problems that I've had with our justice system here in that they have some problems in their communication with one another between the judge, the prosecutor, the sheriff department, and all that. But overall, these are people with good intentions who will hear you out if you can get them to hear that you need them to hear you out. Does that make sense? And I hope I'm not super special that I could make that happen. I hope that they would do that for anybody from here. And I think they would. I think if any citizen of this jurisdiction walked into that office angry like we did with or without a camera, I think Otto's office would have sat aside an appointment for him. Unlike many, many other jurisdictions. Unlike many other jurisdictions. And unlike states as a whole. So shout out to Otto. And I hope they do well with everything in their careers. They're good men. They're good men. They work for an agency. They work in a system that I don't agree with because I don't think it functions right. But thank God for some people that are still in it that are trying. You know, because unfortunately, whether you're soft or not, you still live by that same rule. This is the real world. In your dream state, you can dream of a complete freedom or anarchy. But that ain't the real world you're living in, buddy. I hate to tell you. And I'm not trying to be rude or attack you or your beliefs. I'm saying in the real world, when they say you're going to jail, you're going to jail. In the real world, when they say hit the deck, you better hit the deck because you're getting ready to. And if you don't do it willingly, you're going to do it by force. You can choose that if you want, but that you ain't a free one. You know what I'm saying? That soft shit is not real. That's not the real world. That is a place where a lot of people, including myself, might like to be. But it's not the world we live in. So, um, thank God I'm not in jail. And, hey, Tube Sock, $2. What's up? The jailer is paying everyone off, funding Todd and Direct D. Absolutely established. That's far been established. Thank you, Tube Sock. Thank you. You should spend your money on stuff that's not already completely obviously already taken care of. Everybody know that. um, they're not going unchecked either. That meeting we had over this, people are starting to notice, is all I'm going to say right now. People realize what the whole situation is now, including one in chat. If you think that includes the judges of Meade County who recused, I think people are starting to realize exactly what's going on, and it just took them this long to figure it out. I think that when the corrupt officials took their kindergarten coloring crayon style paintbrush and painted me and Tiffany as these awful people on YouTube, these awful individuals from Indiana, I think people just believed them and saw us like that for a long period of time, and it's taken a lot for most of those people to realize that that was wrong. That the stuff that was being said wasn't even true. For example, we were never told to leave the clerk's office. And when I said that the chief deputy is a woman beater, it's because he beat Tiffany. She's a woman. I never made the accusation that they claimed I made about his wife. I didn't even know if he had a wife. I don't care about their wives. I don't care about their personal lives. I didn't know the jailer had kids. I didn't even know he had kids. I don't give a fuck if they got kids or wives or if they sleep with other people. I don't care. I only care about what these officials do in their official capacity. That's all I've ever done anything on. I did all that work in the Jamie No case. And you know how much private shit I learned about them cops? And I never said anything about any of their private affairs. Only things that affected the taxpayers. Lucky for them. Lucky for them. Same applies with Meade County. I have never taken any of it personally. With any of them. I've only been concerned with my case. And the false charges that they keep dropping on me. And the official capacities and the authorities and the duties and the oaths of offices and the violations that they've done. That's all I've cared about, man. I don't give a fuck who they're poking. I don't give a fuck how many kids they got. I don't give a fuck how many times they've been married. I don't give a fuck if they're gay, straight. Doesn't matter to me. So all the bullshit that they've been painting about us, people are starting to realize, people are starting to see it. And by people, I mean not just you guys, you all have known, but people that matter in this case are starting to realize it. Finally, we're moving forward. Today was a pivot point. I was terrified to go to jail today. That was hard. Saying goodbye to the little guy, getting all my affairs in order, setting Tiffany up, knowing she was going to be without me for protection, knowing that it was going to spark the harassment like it did the last time I went to jail for 14 days. How dangerous that was. She was getting phone calls on my phone of people saying they were outside, that they were going to kick in the door and RAPE her. Hey, thank you, Steve Cousins, with the 10 New Zealand dollars for diesel. He's almost human. Yeah, you know what? He'd like a cooked tea tonight. That's a good idea, Steve, and you're paying for it, buddy. Let's see if I can figure out how to make a dog tea, bud. Thank you so much, Steve. But yeah, you know, like Tiffany had every right to be scared when I spent that 14 days in jail. And they did destroy my company while I was gone. You know, my construction business. They've ruined my life. They've ruined my life. All these people that go, we're going to get a lawsuit. I've always said, you don't want to. The only time you get a lawsuit is when they fucking destroy your life. I feel like it's like the bad version, the opposite of winning the lottery. It's like you're the unluckiest person in the world if you have a civil rights lawsuit, because that means your life was destroyed if you really have one. And it should only never happen, but on rare occasions to American citizens, it's like getting struck by lightning. And here I am, struck by lightning twice. In fucking, 5 years, man? Me and Tiff. Struck by lightning twice. We're not happy to file lawsuits. It's only a little bit of justice prevailing when you can recoup something back. But they fucking destroy everything. I was in business with a solid reputation, with great clients. I made hella good money. I was practically retired because I made so much money by the job that I hardly even had to work. I only went to work a couple days a week, and I paid all my bills with that money. I paid all my overhead. I've been in business since 2001, 24 fucking years. And then the jailer's going to get some goddamn piece of shit, thieving ass fucking felon like Michael Kaiser and his followers and ruin it. Ruin it. Christopher Ruff, who's a meth head living in a fucking dumpster in a desert. Man, what is wrong with people like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. So, 171 amazing people in here. Actually, it just jumped to 180, 176. Probably 150 amazing people. and a few asswipes that are trying to report back to the government. If you're going to report back to the government, make sure you go drop a W and a thank you to Nick and Otto. I'm talking to the haters that are in here, the government bootlickers. Tell them we said thank you to Nick and Otto for getting this done and for agreeing that work needs to be done. And it started right in front of my eyes by getting that done. So I would have it for court today, which was canceled because the judge is recused. You're going to hear a different story from the jailers' channels because they lie. This is so simple. All right, y'all. I am so happy to be here, and I want to spend some time with the family. So, yeah, I wanted to update y'all. Tube Sock dropping $2 trying to keep me online. There's Chance, Direct D, Todd, JJ, send money to Wrangler. What for honey buns? So he can give them to Bubba. Oh man, I wish there wasn't so much dumb shit that bounces around between just the ignorant people that want to play with people's lives on YouTube. I don't mind being covered, and I don't mind people hating me. They usually haven't provided a reason, but I don't mind it. It's their right. You can hate me if you want. You can think I'm stupid, all that stuff. Just don't. I don't like the ones that actually want to hurt us, because that is completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. It makes no sense that anyone feels like they have gotten any reason to want to hurt us. Hate us all you want. Bitch about us. Make fun of us. But don't hurt people that didn't do anything to deserve it. Wishing prison on me when they know I haven't committed a single crime. Not waiting for the justice system to actually do the proceedings. Saying that we are lying or cheating when something goes in our favor, my favor, for my stuff. It's never ending. I could go on and on and on and on. Finding out where kids go to school and threatening the school, going to someone's house and taking videos of their private curtilage. Oh, Nikki for $5. Make sure to subscribe to Official Misconduct. Nikki's paying for it. Thank you, Nikki. And yes, subscribe to Official Misconduct. Yeah, the hatred is creepy, isn't it, Linda? Yeah, OMC's live stream channel, Tennessee. Mostly that's what we do on there. The videos are normally just where we re-upload like a live stream to like a video style format where we chop out the wait time and stuff like that. Yeah, and listen, I have no problem with people getting views off of my subject. Even
Thank you, Nikki.
Tiffany said thank you. Did you hear it, Nikki? I have no problem with people keeping up with what's going on. I don't like when they lie about it, and I don't like when they're trying to do, like spread misinformation to make me go to prison for no reason. But like even Todd's channel, Todd is a piece of shit child stalker. Like he literally stalked Tiffany's children. That guy belongs in fucking prison. Mark my words. That drunk piece of shit child stalker does not need to be walking free in society. And that's not me wishing prison on him. That's me saying the nicest thing that I'm allowed to say on YouTube about him. But as far as his free speech on YouTube, and if he gets views, I'm fine with that. Even if you're over there just to see the bullshit that they fucking spread. But the problem is that when he sees viewership, he believes that's what he's doing. He's doing something right. And what he's actually doing is wishing harm on us. That's what he's been doing, wishing harm on us. Completely unnecessarily. Wishing harm on us. Causing damage to Tiffany's children. Intentionally. The man is literally a child stalker. I'm not just saying that. I can provide documentation, which I have, for court. It's a fact. Bad man. All right. That's a bad note to leave it on. That's seems like our society in America today is just full of people that'll mistreat children. It's gross. I don't understand it, even in politics. Just so gross. Let's get back on track, America. Let's make this. Let's at least get back to where it's America somewhere we can live. Like, we're dreaming about this whole freedom and constitutional rights. Let's at least make it where we can live here without getting killed, without having people trying to get you killed or hurting your children or doing things to your children that's going to destroy the rest of their lives. Let's at least get back to that. All right. There's a lot more stuff coming on the channel, and I'm back to making videos and working on videos. I've got some depositions coming your all's way. I've got a bunch of reports that have been done. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So I'm excited to be home and not in jail to be able to work on this content for you. Let's rebuild for public safety. Let's get back on top. Let's fucking do this thing. Tiff, you want to say goodbye? Tiff, you want to say bye?
I ain't gonna go on screen. I've been cooking, but
You've been cooking?
Yeah.
Well, you look amazing. Stick your
Oh,
head over
you're
here and
sweet.
say,
Good night, y'all. Love you.
love you all. See you on the next one.